Atlanta Braves have their backs to the wall, and the wall is in the Bronx. Welcome to Game 6 of the World Series. The Yankees lead 3-2, and one more win will return the championship of baseball to Yankee Stadium for the first time in nearly 20 years. Hi, I'm Mike Carlson, and with me is Rico Petrocelli, a New Yorker by birth, but a Bostonian by choice, having spent 13 years with the Boston Red Sox. And Rico, you're not conflicted anymore.
No, I'm not really. Actually, I'm not really too concerned about who wins this game. The Yankees are ahead 3-2, but watch out. There's a full moon in the Bronx tonight. That means there's going to be some interesting things happening in the stands and on the field. A
combination of Yankee fans and a full moon is a bad sign for all of us. But now, it's been nearly 30 years since you played in your first World Series, and we remember what you looked like in those days. If you take a look at that, that was the American League Championship, the last out as the Boston Red Sox took it. A very young Rico Petrocelli.
Wow. I can't remember. Was that me? I forgot. Sorry, left-hander or right-handed? Oh, my goodness. Look at that mug shot. Throw darts at that head.
Haven't changed a bit.
Yeah, sure. I hope so. Please don't say that.
Now, in that series and in the 75 when you played, both times your team was down 3-2. You went into Game 6 down. As a player, what does that feel like with your back to the wall?
Well, when you're down 3-2, especially if you're on the road, it really makes it a lot difficult because, you know, the fans do play a part in this series or in any championship series. And well, we were home in the years that I made it, and we had the fans on our side. Atlanta does not have the fans on their side. The Yankees do. But in this series so far, it's been the away team that's done well.
Right. And to see if we can have the away team win one more. Welcome back for what could be the World Series decider. Now, as we're back in New York, Atlanta will be the first up to bat. So let's take a look at the way they will bat. And again, Bobby Cox going with basically the same lineup. But remember, we're in the American League city, so the pitcher doesn't have to hit. That means there's a designated hitter, and that's Terry Pendleton, who moves into the number 8 spot between Dye and Blauser. But Rico, we were saying it might have been better if he moved in between Jones and Dye.
Yeah, because he's a switch hitter. He can hit left-handed or right-handed, depending on the pitcher. And the two youngsters, it would be nice to have a veteran in between that maybe could help them in case they don't do too well.
And we've seen a couple of times. Andrew Jones has been hitting well throughout the series. He's gotten on base, but Dye has not been able to advance him.
Dye has really had problems here. Dye is a youngster also, and Bobby Cox has decided to stay with him and not go to Ryan Klesko, even though the left-hander is pitching. He's taken Ryan Klesko's bat out of the World Series, actually.
Now, for the Braves, they had a lot of hitting in those last 3 games against St. Louis, the first 2 against the Yankees, and it looked like they were almost waiting for their bats to explode again.
Yeah, you know, in baseball, you're playing almost every day. It's streaky. You'll have a streak, 4 or 5 games where you'll be hitting the ball, everything you swing at falls in, and then all of a sudden it stops. And that's what's happened to the Braves right now. They've got to get their bats going. I mean, the pitchers can do great, but if they don't score any runs, they'll still lose.
And a big guy like Ryan Klesko, what's the problem with him? How have they taken the bat out of his hands?
Well, he strikes out a lot, you know, and he's not looked well against left-handers, but he can get hot at any time. You know, he helped get them to the World Series. He hit, I think, 34 home runs this year, knocked in over 100 runs. That's a lot of production. And his manager's taken him out of the lineup, which really, in a sense, not too fair.
Now let's take a look at what Jones and the rest of the Atlanta lineup will be facing when they head to the plate. And here's how the Yankees will line up in the field. And now with the right-handed pitcher on the mound, Tino Martinez and Wade Boggs come back in the lineup at the corners, but the outfield stays the same. And Paul O'Neill, who, even though he was limping, made the big catch at the end of the game off Luis Polonia, stays in right.
Yeah, I don't think O'Neill was going to get to that ball. If he hadn't gotten to that ball, it would have been a lot of second-guessing for the Yankee management. But Strawberry, too, has done well so far, but he's usually a liability out there. So maybe we haven't seen the real Yankee outfield.
Strawberry fields badly forever.
That's right, he does.
But we should point out, too, that the outfield in Yankee Stadium, who you've got out there, is more important than it is in Atlanta.
Yeah, I think so because of the field. You have a lot of room in center, left center field, so Bernie Williams can cover a lot of ground. He can help both outfielders out, but actually Strawberry is experienced. You know, he's been in the World Series before. He's a guy, too, that doesn't get riled too much, and I think he won't have any problems.
Now, we haven't talked at all about Jimmy Key, the starting pitcher for the Yankees, but he is a good pitcher and usually a money pitcher as well.
He is a good pitcher, but he is the guy that Atlanta can beat. when he's not on, he hangs pitches over the plate. He gives you a pitch to hit, as opposed to a David Cone, who can be very tough and petted. But Maddox is a very tough customer, and he's going up against one of the best. But Jimmy Key has got to keep the ball down, and he's got to get the curveball over the plate.
Now, that's an interesting point, because we saw Andy Pettitte had trouble the first time around against Atlanta. He gave up on the cut fastball, went to the curveball more, and that seemed to get the Atlanta hitters off balance.
It did get them off balance, because his curveball was had a good arc to it, and it was slower, and it got inside on the hands of the right-handed hitters. And if you can throw the hitters off a little bit like that, you can have some success.
It's funny, because at the start of the series, we were saying it was Atlanta who seemed to have read the scouting reports and be prepared for everything the Yankees do. And as the series has gone on, it's sort of shifted over. And now the Yankees seem to be anticipating.
That's very true. And the Yankees have become more aggressive. You know, they got, in the third game that they won out there in Atlanta, they got their confidence back. They really felt that they can beat this Atlanta team, because you got to realize that Atlanta has a great reputation of having an almost unbeatable team because of their pitching. And their pitching, their bullpen has really not done well for them.
And we're on live pictures, and the first pitch from the pitcher, Jimmy Key, is a ball outside to Marquise Grissom. There you see his record in the postseason. We'll see if his control is good. Let's get over to New York and Gary Thorne and Rick Cerrone.
Marquise Grissom hitting successfully in all 11 World Series games. 2 for 4 against Jimmy Key. Yankees throwing those left-handers against this Atlanta team. That one hit in the air to left field. Strawberry charging, got it.
Strawberry got a bad jump on this ball. He breaks back, and then he has to come in. See, that has 3 steps backwards, and now he's got to make this play very interesting. You see the concentration, the sliding catch.
Playing with a broken toe. He has played some very good left field, recovered from an initial wrong move right there. 1 down, and Mark Lemke takes a strike. Lemke has gone 6 for 21 here in the World Series. Overall, a very strong 15 games in the postseason. Towards short, Derek Jeter. 2 down.
Little curveball from Jimmy Key. Let's take a look at the Yankee defense. Boggs is back in the lineup at third base. Martinez back in the lineup here at Yankee Stadium. Cecil still gets to swing the bat. He's the designated hitter. Boggs and Martinez, their first start since game 2.
Interesting. The veterans are back in there, even though they've not had a very good series. And the pitch is taken outside. Chipper Jones.
Did you notice Jimmy Key got Lemke on the slow curveball? Well, Key watched Andy Pettitte, had a lot of success with that curveball. Why not use it to the Braves hitters until they adjust?
The Braves will try and take some more here and not be too anxious against this left-hander who Rick has talked about likes to slow it down even more when things get tough. Foul back on the high fastball that time. 2-1.
I've noticed Chipper Jones is right on top of the plate. Jimmy Key, as we all know, likes to make his living down and away with the changeup or the sinker, and he has definitely moved closer to the plate by about 6 inches. As a catcher, you got to see that and just keep him honest inside if you can.
Outside corner strike. The home plate umpire tonight is Jerry Davis, generally considered to be a pitcher's umpire. He will give a little bit on that strike zone. 2-2 pitch. 3-2.
He just stays outside, change up, sinkers away. When Jimmy Key comes inside, it's usually for a ball, just to set up the pitch away that he wants to get you out with.
First 3-2 delivery of the game. Down the right field line, Paul O'Neill with that bad hamstring gets over and puts it away. So Jimmy Key comes on for the Yankees and retires the Braves in order, to the delight of the Yankee Stadium crowd. Yankees coming up.
Well, that was quick, wasn't it? 3 up, 3 down. Jimmy Key looking okay. He got the curveball going.
Yeah, he got the curveball going. He got his pitches over the plate, and he kept the hitters off balance now. And if he can continue to do that for 9 innings, he'll pitch a no-hitter and not have to worry about anything.
None of them got particularly good swings.
No, they weren't good swings at all. And the first swing again, Grissom hit it right off the end of the bat and fooled Darryl Strawberry, the outfielder, and he went back on the ball and fortunately came in and made the catch.
Now let's see the way the Yankees will come to bat at the bottom half of the first inning. And here's their lineup. Not too many changes, but Boggs comes in at number 2 behind Jeter. Jeter gets on base really well. Cecil Fielder stays in the cleanup spot, and he's got 3 lefties behind him, Martinez, Strawberry, and O'Neill. Girardi moves down to 9 behind Duncan. It's a good hitting lineup. It's
a good hitting lineup. Joe Torre put in 2 veterans that have not been hitting, Boggs and Tino Martinez at first base, but he's going with them because again, those are the players that got him to the World Series. So.
And in Game 5, he went against the percentages and played Cecil Fielder at first, and Fielder got 3 of the 4 Yankee hits.
So everything's been turning out right for the last 3 games for the New York Yankees, and so far this one is going good for half an inning.
Now let's see the defensive lineup for Atlanta behind pitcher Greg Maddux. Here's how they'll take the field. And no changes here. Again, they've had trouble with the fielding. Jermaine Dye in right has been a problem, but he's also made a couple of good plays. He covers a lot of ground, but he's a big guy. Blauser's made an error at short and hasn't looked all that confident, really, I guess is the word I'd use.
Yeah, he's had a tough year. Blauser's been injured, and you never know what he's going to do, but you have a pretty good outfield defense. And the mistakes that Atlanta has made has really cost them, and they haven't made a whole lot of them, but they've made enough to hurt them.
Jeter in the leadoff spot, 0 for 7 in the 2 games he has hit in the leadoff spot against the Braves here in the World Series. He had very good numbers in the regular season when leading off for the Yankees. Jeter, Boggs, and Williams do up here for New York. The man who has drawn enormous attention. Everything about this game is focused on Greg Maddux. Ground ball back to him. And you can hear the moan in Yankee Stadium. Another comebacker to Maddux.
And he had 5 in Game 2 and starts off this time with a little slider to Jeter to get him to hit it back to him. He is an outstanding fielding pitcher. Won his 6th Gold Glove.
Jeter will be followed by Wade Boggs. Bernie Williams batting 3rd. Cecil Fielder the DH cleanup. Tino Martinez back at 1st. Darryl Strawberry in left field. Paul O'Neill. Mariano Duncan and Joe Girardi rounded out. So here's Wade Boggs back in the lineup. Has had only 8 at-bats in the World Series and has gone 3 for 8. Charlie Hayes has played a lot of third base, but the veteran's in there. 1-0 pitch to him. 1-1. Why Boggs and not Hayes?
It's a gut feeling. Remember we talked about Torre. He goes with his gut feeling. Hayes played good defense, got some big hits for the Yankees in Atlanta, but he felt Boggs would handle Maddux better.
Maybe highlighted by the fact he drew that bases loaded walk when he came on as a pinch hitter. That's the kind of at-bat you want to have against Maddux.
Plus, I mean, it's hard to understand why Boggs wouldn't be in the lineup against the Maddux, the right-handed pitcher. Boggs is one of the guys, like Martinez, that really got the Yankees to this point. And remember, we talked about Torre. He's very loyal to his players.
1 ball, 2 strike count. Maddux fouled off. At this point in the season, and we see it on both sides in the lineups tonight, managers like Joe Torre and Bobby Cox, obviously, number 1, you want to win. That's the obligation a manager has to a team. But you do look at those guys like Boggs, like Pendleton, like Martinez, who were your veterans who played all year long for you, and this could be the last game. And you feel like maybe you owe them something to be out there on the field at this point in the World Series.
You see one thing Boggs does, he works the count. Makes Maddux throw more pitches than normal. And that's what the Yankee hitters are going to try to do tonight.
Fly ball. Die. 2 down. He did something most people can't do. He got a fly ball off Maddux.
And I've noticed Maddux has gone to the little cut fastball or the slider early in the ball game. One thing that Maddox did the other day, he threw so few pitches, only 82 for the ball game. He didn't get to use his curveball. He really didn't have to call on his changeup and his cutter. So he's got a big advantage. The Yankee hitters really have not seen Greg Maddux at his best, using all his pitches.
That's a scary thought if you're the Yankees, isn't it? Greg Maddux, 2 down, nobody on, and here's Bernie Williams. Williams has not had a hit in his last 9 at-bats and fouls that one off. Switch hitter, 2 for 20.
Look at the defense. Marquise Grissom, only 1 error during the regular season, but 3 in the postseason. You know what? He's a class guy because he stepped up and said E8. That's my fault, even though Dye cut right in front of him on that big play in Game 5.
Unearned run, the only run of that game. Interesting note that game decided 1-0 on an unearned run. It was the 4th 1-0 game in World Series history to be decided on 1 unearned run. Last time it happened was 1986. The Mets and the Red Sox. An error in that one cost the Mets a game.
Well, you bring up that 86 series. There are so many similarities. It's frightening.
The 1-2 pitch. Williams takes it inside.
You know, you talk about the road team winning 2 games. Boggs can't believe the similarities. The road team in '86 won both games. The Red Sox at Shea Stadium. They go to Fenway Park. Lenny Dykstra hits a big home run. Well, Bernie Williams hit a huge home run in Game 3 in this series. Then you go to Game 4. It was Carter in Fenway to hit a big home run in the 8th inning.
A catcher.
Yeah, and Jim Leyritz, the big home run in the 8th inning.
A catcher.
I mean, it gets really crazy. You talk about that 1 unearned run. There was a ball game in that '86 series we just talked about. How about Ryan Klesko at first base? Remember, routine play, loses it in the lights. Anybody remember Bill Buckner? The ball goes through his leg in '86. Boggs, I mean, this is all he's talking about. There are so many similarities. It's scary.
3-2 count. Fastball grounded down to first. Fred McGriff says, I'll take it myself. And these 2 pitchers start out as you would expect, retiring the opposition in order. We have completed Game 6 at Yankee Stadium, and it is scoreless.
And you see Jimmy Key's first pitch to McGriff is outside for a ball. Remember, when they did try to pitch him inside, McGriff pulled that one right off the fair pole down the short right field line. But he misses that one. It's 1-1. Let's get back to Gary Thorne and Rick Cerone.
The baseball that went through Buckner's legs. 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. Taken up high by Fred McGriff. And actor Charlie Sheen, a baseball fan, purchased that ball for $95,000. 2-2 pitch. McGriff up the middle. Could be. Jeter's there. Jeter makes the play. Great positioning for Jeter.
Ball was not hit that hard by McGriff. That enabled Jeter to go a long way. Hits this ball off the end of the bat. You see Jeter, it's not hit very hard. And with McGriff running, he has plenty of time to make the play. He's on the other side of second base when he feels that ball.
He was way over there by the bag in his shortstop hole, squeezing McGriff, and it worked. 1 down here in the 2nd inning. Here's Javi Lopez, the catcher. He's in an 0-for-8 funk right now. Jimmy Key's pitch is down low, ball 1 to him.
You know, Gary, we mentioned, we showed the graphic. Lopez and Bernie Williams both cold. Well, remember, prior to this series, they had 4 scouts watching each team play. They scrutinized everything that Lopez was doing because he was the MVP of the National League Series. They scrutinized everything that Bernie Williams was doing, how to get them out. They really focused on those 2 players, and that's what you see sometimes in World Series. They tend to cool off.
We are seeing the Atlanta batters in this one, Rick, obviously very patient starting this game. They are taking a lot of pitches.
Well, that's what you got to do against Jimmy Key. Make him work and stay off the bad pitches.
3-0, and he walked him. So Jimmy Key, who walked 4 in game 2, gives up his first walk here. A 1-out walk to Lopez with 1 away in the second inning. He walked only 58 during the regular season in 169 innings. Doesn't walk many, doesn't strike out many. Curacao is on hand for this game as Jones steps up.
See the 3-0 sinker just off the plate away. Did an interview with the people from Curacao today. Going back there, 4,000 people at the stadium watching the game on the big screen TV.
You can bet they're watching this one too. Saturday night. Great to have you with us. A 1-0 count, 1 down. A magnificent postseason for him. And 7 for 17 in the World Series. No big lead at first for Lopez. Strike on the outside corner, 1-1.
Do you notice, Gary, Jimmy Key doesn't give in. That was a changeup behind an account, even though he walked Lopez on 4 straight pitches. He's not going to give in to hitters. He expects them to be a little aggressive and swing at bad pitches.
Atlanta's trying not to do that. 1-1 pitch. Breaking ball is down low. 2 balls and 1 strike. For Jimmy Key, 1-1 in postseason this year, 4-2 in his career. World Series play, 2 wins and a loss back in '92, and now his postseason years, all of them against the Atlanta Braves. First with Toronto, now with the Yankees. 2-2.
2-1 changeup. It looks like a fastball, but the hitter gets out in front. Watch this. See the changeup? The hitter goes for it because he thinks it's the fastball, and he's way in front of the pitch. See, there's no such thing as a hitter's count against a pitcher like Jimmy Key, because when he's behind in the count, he's more apt to use his changeup.
2-2 pitch, jammed him inside. 3 balls and 2 strikes. You know that each of these pitchers has gone through this lineup they're facing before the game in their mind's eye once, twice, probably 3 times. One down, 3-2. Lopez on at first base. Key, keeping the double play in order, makes the throw.
See, Jimmy Key's more likely to throw you fastballs when he's ahead in the count. 1-2. 2-2. When he's ahead in the count, he's more likely to throw fastball. Behind, changeups.
Struck him out. Runner goes. Lopez is caught. Throwback Martinez safe at the bag. Jones struck out. Such a bad jump for Lopez that he was able to turn around and come back to first base.
Well, he can't get picked off in that situation. He's got to wait till the pitcher delivers the ball. But a great job by Lopez. He sees the strikeouts, puts on the brakes, and heads back to first. Nothing Girardi could do or Duncan can do to prevent this. Let's watch the pitch. Change up down. Girardi just has to come up firing, and Lopez just a heads-up play on the bases.
First strikeout for Key. And Lopez back into the bag. 2 down. Jermaine Dye. The middle of this Atlanta order 3, 4, and 5. In games 1 and 2 that they won, they went 8 for 23. In games 3 through now, they are 5 for 30. A dramatic turnaround. 3, 4, and 5 in the order. Pitch is taken outside by Dye, and the count goes to 2 balls and no strikes.
You know, Gary, we analyze, we overanalyze. It still comes down to pitching. Pitching and defense in World Series play is what carries you. The Yankees have played better defense.
Tight games, good pitching, good defense. You win.
And they've scored late in the ball game. We showed that graphic earlier. Outscored Atlanta 8 runs to 1 after the 6th inning. Well, if you're in a tight ball game, if you're scoring late, you're going to win those games.
3-0 deliveries right there, taken by Dye. He has not had a hit in his last 7 at-bats. Jermaine Dye has struggled here also in the World Series play. Overall, very fine year for the youngster, but only a couple of hits and 16 at bats. See the Braves, those runs piled up in games 1 and 2. Key battles on the outside, fouled off, 3 and 2. Bobby Cox spent the morning walking around New York with his wife. She had never been to Central Park, so they walked for hours today in Central Park.
Beautiful day to walk to.
3-2 pitch swung onto right field. Paul O'Neill right there. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 walk and 1 left on here in the second inning. Braves and Yankees, no score. And Martinez back in the lineup. A 1-for-8 World Series for Tino Martinez, acquired for this year with Don Mattingly gone from Seattle, the team the Yankees lost to last year in postseason play, the team that denied them a chance to go on to the World Series.
Tino Martinez with 45 postseason at bats. Only one other player has ever gone an RBI drought longer, and that was 48 at bats by Jerry Mumford in 1981, who I played with that year. 45 postseason at bats without an RBI for Tino Martinez.
It's amazing, isn't it? 117 RBIs and not one now in postseason. That refers to Don Mattingly, the great Yankee captain first baseman who retired, and Martinez took his place. 1-2 pitch is inside by Maddox, and a 2-ball 2-strike count on Martinez.
And only twice in the history of the World Series, players that have driven in over 100 runs during a season have failed to have an RBI. One of them was Barry Bonds with Pittsburgh.
Inside corner strike. There's the first one of the game for Maddox. Martinez retired, and there's 2 down here in the second inning.
You see, he starts this ball way off inside, way inside off the plate. That good movement. He starts the ball right here. Now, as a hitter, you give up, and next thing you know, it breaks back over the middle of the plate. Watch. Inside, just at the last minute, breaks back over the inside part of the plate. Almost an impossible pitch for a left-hand hitter to hit because you think it's a ball.
That's what the Yankee coaching staff was talking a lot about yesterday and today against Maddox. Do not give up on his pitches. You've got to keep the head in, keep the shoulder in.
Well, he's got movement that goes both ways. That's what makes him so tough. It looks like the same pitch, but it can move 2 different ways.
Strawberry chasing one. You saw that one move down and away. 1 ball 1 strike. Strawberry 3 hits, 14 at bats here in the World Series. Bob Watson, who finally said today in the press, I have had a pretty good year. That's a fair statement.
Yeah, and he's been under a lot of heat because of that Milwaukee Brewer trade that sent Pat Listash and Graham Lloyd to the Yankees.
Down to first. Look at the shift. Worked perfectly. Had the shift not been on, McGriff would have been nowhere near that ball. It would have been a double down the line. Instead, it's the 3rd out of the second inning. Still scoreless. We go to the 3rd.
Welcome back. 2 innings gone. We're scoreless. Both pitchers have been really sharp, giving up no hits, and it takes us back a mere 40 years to Yankee Stadium, where Don Larson threw the only perfect game in base World Series history.
Yeah, he won it 2-0. That means no batter got to first base, whether on a walk, error, or a base hit, and it's so very, very difficult to do. The odds are well against you.
So Terry Pendleton's in to hit against Jimmy Key. Pendleton, remember, the designated hitter in this game, will bat for the pitcher Maddox, and Key has 1 ball and 1 strike against the switch hitting third baseman. Let's go back to New York.
Mariano Duncan, not an easy play, but certainly doable.
Just hit the glove, and he never really got the ball in the glove. If he comes up with it cleanly, it's an easy play. You see, he gets there, it hits the heel of the glove. By the time he recovers, it's too late.
Fifth Yankee error of the World Series. And the leadoff man, Terry Pendleton, is on. The number 9 hitter, Jeff Blauser, the shortstop. Would they bunt here? Wade Boggs moving in at third.
That's what Bobby Cox has done early in the ball game with his bottom half of the order.
Runner goes, hit and run was on. Over to cover, Jeter, high throw, but they got him anyway. The hit and run was on, and a very late start for Pendleton.
And almost Girardi waited too long to get the ball down to second base. We talked about the bunt. Well, Bobby says we're going to be aggressive. We'll go with the hit and run. See how Girardi double pumped it, but he was able to get the throw down to second base.
Nobody moved over to cover the bag. That's what he was waiting for here. And Jeter, the benefactor of a very bad slide by Terry Pendleton. Well, those breaks even out in a hurry. Now Blauser turning to bunt for a base hit. 1-1. Well, Bobby Cox had the hit and run on. That wasn't a pitch out, but it was almost as good as one.
It was as good as a pitch out. It was up and out over the strikes, out over the plate. Blauser couldn't even make contact.
So Bobby Cox playing aggressive here in this must-win situation. Ball 3 from Jimmy Key, 3-0 to Blauser.
See, the thing with Jimmy Key on the mound, you almost have to hit and run if you want to be aggressive. You can't try to steal off Key because he's got such a good move.
Fastball right down the middle. 3-ball, 1-strike count. Blauser just a 189 career postseason batting average. And only 2 for 15 here in the World Series. Goes after that one to the gap in right center. Williams on his horse, reaching out, can't get it. Oh, how big was that play now? Hauling in at second base is Blauser with a double. Well, you can never say for sure, because the fact the out was made at second on Pendleton changes everything in the game. But ooh, on your scorecard, it sure looks big.
Almost looked like 3-1 fastball from Jimmy Key. It's going to make Blauser hit it to the big part of the field. He just gets great wood on it. Bernie Williams had a little trouble picking the ball up off the bat. Broke in one step, and by the time he recovered, it was over his head.
First hit of the game. A Jeff Blauser double, 1 down. Marquise Grissom. And strike 1 on Grissom. Fouled it off. He grounded out his first time up. Grissom has 4 RBIs here in the World Series. Here again, another chance for redemption in this game after the error in that last game that resulted in the only run scored unearned. Here he has a chance to put his team on top 1-0. Does not chase that key pitch. 1-1.
You know, a lot of guys in World Series play, they make a mistake, they kind of hide in their lockers. Not so for Marquise Grissom. He was up front, said he should have caught that ball last night, and he faced the music when he had to.
And we'll make him even more aggressive here. Key working and working. 2-1.
They have been very patient tonight, staying off the ball away. Jimmy Key's trying to get the Braves hitters just to nibble on that outside pitch. They aren't so far.
2-1 pitch, broken bat, ground ball to short. Jeter, that'll hold the runners, and Grissom's retired. Blauser cannot advance with that ball hit in front of him. 2 down.
And that's a nice piece of pitching by Jimmy Key. Gets you looking for the ball away, comes back to the curveball that winds up jamming Grissom. Wasn't really the pitch inside. He just jams himself. He goes out to get the fastball away. It's a curveball on the hands. Look at that. See, he makes contact right about the trademark. That causes the jam shot.
Gets it against the leading hitter in the World Series, Marquise Grissom. Now there are 2 down, and the pitch is taken down low by Lemke. Mark Lemke grounded out his first time up. Lemke against the left-handers here in the series. 2 hits in 11 at-bats against Yankee southpaws. Blauser at second base. He'll be going on contact. He went around 1-1. No score, third inning. 1 hit on the board. Blauser's double. Yankees win and the championship is theirs. Braves win Game 7 tomorrow night. Lemke, center field. Bernie Williams. No runs, a hit, an error. Key works his way through it. Still a scoreless game. The record for most groundouts in a World Series game is 26 in a 14-inning game. The 1916 World Series involving Boston.
And who was the pitcher? The Bambino.
Babe Ruth pitched that game for Boston before he was traded over to the Yankees and set the record for most ground ball outs in a World Series game.
Tells you what type of pitcher the Babe was.
He was a great pitcher.
Yeah, he was a great pitcher, but he had to be a sinker type pitcher to get all those ground balls.
He couldn't keep that bat out of the lineup though.
There's the Babe.
1-2 to Paul O'Neill. Check swing. They check at third. No. Tim Wilkie down at third said he did not go around. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Paul O'Neill.
So there's just so many things, accolades that you could talk about Greg Maddux. Consistency though. 9 straight years with 15 or more wins. I mean, that's consistency. Only Gaylord Perry, Warren Spahn, and Bob Lemon have been able to do that.
O'Neill's got one into the corner. That's going to be a fair ball. Off the wall. Over to get it Dye. And into second base with the first Yankee hit is Paul O'Neill.
This ball is hit better than the double O'Neill had against Maddux in Game 2. In Game 2, it was more of a jam shot. This was a ball that he drove down the right field line for a leadoff double. Let's see the location. Looks like the changeup. See, that's the other pitch that Maddux didn't feature in that second game, but a nice job of hitting by O'Neill on a ball down in the strike zone.
He has 2 hits in the World Series, 2 for 10, both of them doubles, both against him. Greg Maddux. Mariano Duncan looking for the bunt. Went through that one, tried, didn't get it. Strike 1. Duncan has the infield charging in on him. He has not had a hit in his last 9 at-bats and only 1 for 18 in the series.
And even more importantly, he has stranded 13 runners in the last 2 ball games. But Torrey is staying with Duncan.
0-1 the count. He does not square around. Strike 2. Strategy. Had him try and bunt the first one, not this one, figuring with the infield moving in and moving that if he could get a bat on the ball, he'd have a better chance for a hit.
Well, he drives the ball to right field better than anybody on the Yankee staff. He just has not been able to get it going in the World Series.
2-strike count. Got it over there this time, Lemke, but he moves the runner up.
And Gary, you don't think this crowd is an intelligent audience? Listen to the crowd cheering a ground ball to second base by Duncan. They know exactly what he's trying to do, and that's a good job of execution. Productive outs. But it's how many times have you heard an audience actually stand up and cheer on a ground ball to second base? That tells you the intelligence by the crowd. They know baseball. Look at that. Routine ground ball, but he got the job done.
The infield is going to be drawn in here in the 3rd inning. Everybody expecting a low-scoring game. O'Neill at 3rd. Joe Girardi. Center field. Going back. Marquise Grissom. Way back. Can't get it. Paul O'Neill will score. Making the turn, heading for third. Girardi, a triple.
Well, if you think they go crazy over ground ball to second base, this place just erupted on a long fly ball by Girardi. Best first ball fastball hitter on the Yankees. You know, I think in the back of the Braves' mind might have been the squeeze, because Torre likes to do that too. Look at that ball hit hard. The infield's in. He gets a ball up in the strike zone, and he doesn't miss it. 2 balls in this inning hitting the outfield off of Greg Maddux.
That is the first World Series hit for Girardi this year. He was 0 for 7. He gets the RBI. The Yankees have a 1-0 lead. He had 3 triples during the regular season. Infield stays in. Derek Jeter, who grounded out his first time up. Maddux, ball 1.
And this is another guy that Torre could squeeze with. We talk about the squeeze. It's happened twice in this series already. Once for the Yankees and once for the Braves. With the infield in, as a hitter, you want to get the ball up in the strike zone. Very difficult to hit fly balls against Maddux.
1-0 the count. Well, the Yankees have already done more against him than they did in game 2. They have gotten a run in.
A lot of pitches up in the strike zone for Maddux. Not what we saw in game 2.
2 balls, no strikes on Jeter. And that's a base hit into left field. Girardi scores. 2-0 Yankees.
I'll tell you what, Jeter just continues to impress you. 2-0, you got to be looking fastball. He stays on a slider and drives it right back up the middle for an RBI single. Sometimes as a pitcher, you tip your hat to the hitter. That's one of those situations.
That is Jeter's first World Series RBI. Girardi scoring. Yankees 2 runs on 3 hits. 1 out. Wade Boggs. Pitch out. Thought Jeter might be going.
They were thinking right along with me, because that's Torre's MO. When he gets runs, he likes to force the issue and add on. This is Maddox's reaction on that slider that Jeter hit up the middle. He is some type of competitor.
1-0 count. Jeter's running. No throw by Lopez. Stolen base.
Braves just guessed wrong by 1 pitch. You knew Jeter was going to try to steal that base. We talked about it in our opening. Try to force the issue with Maddux. Big jump. He's so focused on the hitter, you can steal bases off of him.
Yankees are 3 for 4 in the series, stealing bases. Runner in scoring position for Boggs with a 2-0 count. Flied out to right his first time up. Good lead for Jeter at second. Boggs gets that one to right field, not deep. Dye puts it away. Jeter will go back to the bag, and there are 2 down here in the 3rd inning.
You know, Gary, I want to say something here. Sometimes pitchers get too cute. They start thinking too much. Remember, I talked about Maddux made it look so easy in game 2 using sinkers and changeups. Tonight, a lot more sliders or little cut fastballs, and the Yankees are able to get that ball in the air. You stay with what's working until the hitter makes the adjustment. Just don't make adjustments to make adjustments.
Yeah. Chant of Bernie, Bernie, as Bernie Williams waits to come on. Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach, with Bobby Cox, the manager, with a jacket on. Williams grounded out his first time up. Runner on at second base. They get some material off the field. The ball had come out. Beach ball. RBI chance for Bernie Williams. Big postseason. Little struggle in the series. Base hit center field. Big jump. Marquise Grissom's throw. Jeter to the plate. Way over the mark. 3-0 Yankees. And down to second base goes Williams.
Again, the cut fastball in on the hands to Bernie Williams. I hate to beat a dead horse, but we said why make those adjustments if you don't have to? Let the hitter make adjustments to you. He stays with the cutter. You're able to elevate that ball. Bernie Williams fought it off for the RBI single.
3 runs on 4 hits for the Yankees.
Right here, instead of throwing sinkers down and away that he did right here, down and away, he's going with little cut balls that are coming into the Yankee hitters. Watch this. He goes with the slider again. See, that's the slider in. Bernie Williams is able to fight it off and go to right field. Girardi hit a fastball, but Jeter hit a slider. Bernie Williams hit the slider. You don't have to do that unless the hitter starts making the adjustments.
2 down, Cecil Fielder. The slider is the most dangerous pitch in baseball. When it doesn't move, it sits there and says, hit me.
Yeah, because it's slower than the fastball. So hitters actually get better cuts at sliders if they're mistakes in the middle of the plate. We see Maddox tonight making more mistakes than he did the entire ball game. 41 pitches, remember? Try to make Maddox work a little bit more. Slow down his tempo. The Yankees have been able to do that with base runners.
He's already thrown half the number of pitches he threw in his entire outing in the game 2. Cecil Fielder going for the downs. Strike 1. Big Daddy grounded out his first time up. Big inning for the Yankees. O'Neill led it off with a double. Girardi brought him home with a triple. Jeter drove Girardi home with a single, and Williams brought him home with a single. Williams is at second base, though, going down on the throw. Check swing. Another fundamental mistake made in the game on that throw by Marquise Grissom. I mean, he was way off the mark on the cutoff man, and on the overthrow it allowed Bernie Williams to get down to second base.
Well, their flaws defensively have really showed up in this series. And you know what? The Yankees have taken advantage of it. Any little extra out that the Braves defense have given the Yankees, they've taken advantage.
That's how you win. Maddox wants the count again. 2 strikes on Cecil Fielder. He came in with a postseason ERA of 1.23 this year. Yankees already have 3 runs off him here. 2 strike pitches down low, blocked by Lopez.
Now he's trying the curveball. See Jimmy Key. He likes what he sees with the run support. No runs scored against Maddox and Wohlers in game 2.
Thirty-year-old right-hander having to work here in this 3rd inning. 1-2 the count. Chopped in front. Lopez, fair ball, gets him. Good play by Javi Lopez, but the Yankees come up with a big 3-run 3rd inning on 4 hits. They leave 1 after 3. The Yankees 3, the Braves nothing. Jones flied out to right his first time up. The third baseman takes it down low for a ball.
And huge for Jimmy Key. When your team scores, try to get your own team back in the dugout in a hurry. Shut down the opposition. Don't let them start building momentum.
He has walked one, struck out one. Chipper Jones, you can see, you can almost hear him telling himself to stay patient.
Stay patient, stay back. Also, you don't want to get out on your front foot too early against Jimmy Key.
2-0 pitch off the end of the bat, 2-1.
Or you do that. You hit the changeup off the end of the bat. You got to stay back against a pitcher like Jimmy Key and work the middle of the diamond. That is where your best percentages are to get base hits.
2-1 delivery to him, just missed inside. 3 ball, 1 strike count on Chipper Jones. There is Greg Maddux, touched up for the 3 runs on 4 hits in that 3rd inning. Talking with Leo Mazzoni and Javi Lopez between innings. That one hit in the air to left center field off the end of the bat. Strawberry.
Jimmy Key is really living on the edge right now. He has worked a lot of 3-1 counts to the Braves hitters, and if you keep doing that, that's like walking a tightrope. Eventually you're going to fall off of it. You got to work ahead of the hitters instead of falling back. I mean, it sounds simple. So far he's been able to get away with it.
Bill Stottlemyre, the pitching coach of the Yankees. Fred McGriff, big strong hitter against the lefties throughout the season and here in postseason in the World Series. Now he has gone 5 for 12 against the Yankee southpaws. He misses outside. 2-0 again.
2-0, 3-1. They are hitters counts. You cannot keep doing that if you're Jimmy Key.
Outfield deep on Fred McGriff. Down to first, foul ball, just missed.
Gary, I got to say hello to somebody.
Yes.
Gene Marola, good friend of mine, comedian on the MS Imagination. It is a cruise ship on the Carnival Cruise Lines. They go down to the Cayman Islands. They listen to all our broadcasts. The cruise director, the whole staff watch our broadcast. They love it.
Great to have you with us. Isn't that the new Carnival cruiser? I mean, that is a magnificent ship. It is huge. It looks like the Empire State Building inside. It's like I saw a clip on it the other day in the news. Has an enormous center atrium in it.
That is, and he's on there every weekend, and they're been watching our championship series on Major League Baseball International.
Got a good one here to watch. 2 ball, 2 strike count. McGriff waiting. 3-2.
And I guess if they're listening tonight, they got that big crap table down there. Put a couple of chips on the hard 8. On the hard 8 tonight. It's amazing how many different places we go with our broadcast.
And he walked him. That is the 2nd walk given up by Key. It puts Fred McGriff on here in the 4th inning with 1 away. Been wonderful to hear from some of the folks who are listening all over this world of ours on the broadcast throughout Europe, South America, in the Caribbean.
Little different look on Greg Maddux today.
Nail biting.
Yankees have made him work. 45 pitches through 3 innings compared to 28 in game 2.
Javi Lopez, runner at first, 1 down, and he takes the strike.
This game is long from being over. The Braves will not quit. They are champions, and until they're defeated, they are still champions.
Yankees trying to take that away from them here tonight at Yankee Stadium. 0-1 pitch is in the dirt. Girardi moves over to block it. A 1 ball, 1 strike count on Lopez. Javi Lopez drew the other walk in the game with 1 down in the 2nd inning. He's still in an 0 for 8 situation. See the 4 first pitch strikes to 14 batters. 1-0 to start. 25-year-old catcher takes the breaking ball away. 2 balls and 1 strike on Lopez.
And Jimmy Key on the mound tonight for the Yankees. Game 6, 92. He was the winning pitcher for the Toronto Blue Jays in the clinching game, trying to become only the 2nd player with different teams to accomplish that.
And that's a base hit into right field by Lopez. O'Neill coming over. McGriff will stop at 2nd base. And here in the 4th inning, Key has not been able to do what Rick was talking about, and that's get the side out in a hurry after your team is giving you runs to work with.
And he got lucky with the first batter, Chipper Jones. 3-1 count. Hit the long fly ball to left. And just like that, the momentum is switching to the Braves.
Potential tying run comes to the plate. Andrew Jones. He struck out his first time up, 0 for 3 against Key in these series. 2 on, 1 down. Outfield deep. Goes after the first one. Strike 1.
I remember I mentioned the trying to become only the second pitcher to do that for 2 different teams. The only other pitcher was Catfish Hunter. The clinching game in '72, Game 7 for the Oakland A's, and the clinching Game 6 for the Yankees in '78.
2 veterans on the mound in this game who've been under pressure. Stays away from that one. Well, if there's any improvement we've seen even in this series for this 19-year-old, pretty amazing how he has taught himself a better patience at the plate, not to chase.
You don't expect that from a 19-year-old either.
These kinds of appearances for a guy like this will improve his whole career dramatically.
Yeah, if you can handle this at 19, you can handle anything else that comes your way later in your career. It's going to make him that much better a player.
2-1 count. Jones pops it up. First base, Martinez over, no play. And a 2-2 count on Andrew Jones. They have not scored for 17 1/3 innings. Their last run, the 5th inning of Game 4. That will weigh on you. Bobby Cox chomping that gum pretty good right now.
1 hit. That's all they really need is 1 hit with runner in scoring position to get themselves righted.
19 years, Andrew Jones, 35-year-old Jimmy Key. And a breaking ball to right field. O'Neill coming, can't get it. That's in, but a very late start from McGriff. He'll have to stop at third. The bases are loaded. A base hit for Jones, but McGriff had to wait to see if the ball was going to be caught. So no way he could come around to score. 2 hits and a walk have loaded him up. See, Paul O'Neill tried, and fortunately for the Yankees, Paul O'Neill was able to keep that ball in front of him.
Yeah, that was a tough play. Got the short hop. Look at this. He's able to keep it in front of him, or else 2 runs score on that play.
Big moment in this game. There'll be many. Here's one of them. Jermaine Dye has struggled here in the World Series and the postseason. Bases loaded, 1 out. Infield double play depth to right field. O'Neill moving over. This will be trouble if it's fair, but it is a foul ball. Strike 1 on Dye.
Well, Gary, remember we talked about Fulton County Stadium, where the Braves play, all the foul territory. Big foul territory. Look at Yankee Stadium. Not a whole lot of foul territory. That ball that Dye just hit would have stayed in, not in play, but in foul territory where an outfielder can actually make the play. Look at that. A couple of feet down the lines of foul territory.
Dye does not have an RBI in this World Series. He's 2 for 17. 0 for his last 8. Inside by Key with a fastball. 1-1. McGriff on at third base. Lopez on at second. Andrew Jones on at first. Yankees have a 3-0 lead. Braves threatening here in the 4th inning. 2-1 to Dye.
Remember we talked about living on the edge for Jimmy Key. 2-1, 2-0, 3-1. You keep doing that to major league hitters, they're going to get you. And you can see that their patience is being paid off right now.
2-1 pitch, and it's 3-1 with no place to put him.
activity in the Yankee bullpen. That's David Weathers warming up.
3-1 pitch, and he walks in a run. Atlanta's on the board. That is the third walk given up by Key. The second one this inning. McGriff scores. Bases remain loaded. Still one away. And Mel Stottlemyre's out to the mound. 1-1.
He has not been able to zero in on the outside part of the plate. Sometimes you have such movement on your fastball, tails down and away. You got to start it towards the middle of the plate, and then it'll catch the outside part.
Way outside again. 2-1.
I mean, you see from the center field camera, he's starting the ball towards the outside part of the plate, and then the movement is taking a good foot off the plate.
Pendleton will look for one to hit right here. 2-1 count. Outside again. 3-1. Already has issued one bases loaded walk. Boy, this will kill you as a manager. 3-1. Yankees lead it. Pendleton, 3-1 count. Ground ball. Could be two. Jeter will take it himself, and they turn the double play.
Almost swung at another bad pitch. A changeup down. He gets the double play and gets out of the inning.
One run, a couple of hits, but a huge double play, and the Yankees have a 2-run lead.
Welcome back. The Braves get one back in the top of the fourth. It's 3-1 New York, and it seems like even though the Braves put pressure on Key, things are still going the Yankees' way.
Still going the Yankees' way, but that big double play gets them out of the inning. And Pendleton has really struggled for the Braves, but Jimmy Key, he didn't give in. As Cerrone has said all along about him, he doesn't give in to a high pitch right down the middle.
As Tino Martinez leads off the bottom of the fourth for the Yankees. Took a ball from Greg Maddux and now follows one back. And out of play, so it's 1-1. Let's go back to Gary Thorne and Rick Cerrone.
And Maddux is still getting a lot of the plate. Middle of the plate up. Does not have his best stuff tonight, that's for sure.
34th World Series for these New York Yankees. They've won 22, losing 11. Somewhat ironically, they've only won 7 here at Yankee Stadium. One of their World Series wins came on the road, the final game that decided it. In fact, there's been only one deciding game in a World Series that the Yankees have won here over the last 42 years. Back in '77.
That was the Reggie game.
Yeah. So these fans are waiting and hoping.
Their first title was the first year this stadium was built, 1923.
Against the New York Giants. Martinez, deep center field, way back near the warning track. Marquise Grissom.
But another ball to the outfield, and that is not a good sign for Maddux. He has got the best ground ball to fly ball ratio of any pitcher in the last 5 to 10 years. See the grip, looks like the sinker grip. Down and in to Martinez. He hit a long way, but they're elevating the ball tonight.
Darryl Strawberry grounded out his first time up. Strawberry looking for his second World Series ring. Shift is on. It denied him a double because you see where the first baseman's playing. That's right where Strawberry hit the ball, right down the line his first time up. That one turned down and away from him. 1-1. "34 years old now, .259 career average for him. Coming back after the abuse problems to get back in the game. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Strawberry.
Oh, that's a great look from the low home camera. You see the movement, the late movement from Maddux. Looks like the ball's going to be in the middle of the plate, and then it drops down and out of the strike zone.
1-2 delivered. Struck him out. Maddox gets his second strikeout. A called third strike. Strawberry retired in the fourth inning. 2 down.
We just heard about Mariano Duncan somehow strained his right shoulder. See that late movement. Boy, that's the same pitch. He got Martinez out looking in the second inning.
2 down. Paul O'Neill. O'Neill delivered the first hit that kicked off that third inning, a double. Getting out of an 0 for 6. He has 2 doubles against Maddox in the series. This one to Lemke. Running throw, and Maddox comes on and retires the Yankees in order.
3-1 Yankees at the end of 4 innings, and although Greg Maddux got them down 1-2-3, he still doesn't look like he's got his best stuff.
No, he made a few mistakes that inning too. He got away with, but still, he was fortunate that the Yankees didn't score again, and that was important for the psychologically for the Braves.
Jeff Blauser, the leadoff batter for Atlanta. Jimmy Key low with the first pitch, and Blauser was showing bunt. Let's go back to Gary and Rick.
And have not done so. 1-0 pitch outside to him, and Key continues following behind the hitters.
Well, this is a veteran pitcher on the mound that should be able to make adjustments. You see Stottlemyre will already get to the phone, probably get Weathers back up, but he has not been able to make an adjustment at all on that mound throwing strikes.
Comes right in with a fastball. Blauser taking 2-1.
See Weathers getting up again. You like to get your starter through 5 innings if you can, but this is the 6th game of the World Series.
And they have a rested bullpen. In light of the fact they had a travel day yesterday, and because of Andy Pettit's performance, 8 1/3, Wetland only to work 2/3 of an inning in that game on Thursday. Blauser, 3-1 delivery by Key. That's there. Blauser trying to draw a walk, and it's 3-2.
And it's really been the Yankee bullpen that has been the savior for the Yankees in the postseason. 6-1 with 6 saves, a 1.7 ERA. So Torrey won't hesitate to go to that bullpen.
3-2 delivery, and Blauser lines out to Jeter. Good comeback by Key.
But that, you talk about living dangerously. 3-1, 3-2 on every hitter, 2-0. And you know, Jimmy knows he's just struggling. He hasn't been able to zone in on that outside part of the plate. Well, you got to start making some adjustments. Start throwing the ball inside, use your curveball a little bit more, and see what happens.
And a line drive base hit up the middle, Marquise Grissom. So Grissom delivers a 1-out single here in the 5th inning. He has now hit successfully in all 12 World Series games he has appeared in. 404 career World Series hitter Marquise Grissom, trying to get it started here again in the 5th for the Atlanta Braves.
He did go to the curveball, so I'll keep my mouth shut up here. He went to the curveball, and Grissom hit a base hit up the middle.
But that's a case, Rick, where he throws a strike to a guy who swings at first pitches. I mean, of all the people you don't want to put a strike in on the first time, it's probably Marquise Grissom. Ball gets away. Grissom takes off. Throw down. Girardi. Close play. Got him. Oh, what a play by Girardi.
And you will not, I don't care how long you watch baseball, you will never see a better play than that. And there, you got to watch out for Grissom. He's hot.
Terry Tata, the second base umpire.
Can't get thrown out of a ball game here. He's pushing people around, umpires and coaches included. And Terry Tata will have to see where he was. He might have been blocked out on that play, but just even to make it close, Girardi made a hell of a play.
Pat Corrales takes Grissom away. They can't lose him.
This ball goes behind Girardi, bare hands it, off balance, right on the money. Now let's see the end of the play. Tata's in good position. Boy, he's in at second base. How can you possibly miss that call? He's there in good position. There's no excuse for missing this. His foot is on the base before Jeter makes the tag.
Not even close. Bobby Cox has been very upset at the umpiring in this series. He's tried not to talk a lot about it, but that's why he's out there still arguing, and this is brutal. You can't miss that.
No, his foot is on the bag when Jeter makes the tag. I thought maybe he was blocked out on the play, but he's in great position to make the call. He just missed it up.
He's talking to Wilkie. He's mad at the third base umpire's thrown him out.
Well, you know what that was
Wilkie's
from.
the umpire who Bobby Cox said did not get out of the way of his player in Atlanta when Dye tried to catch a ball down the right field line, and that's what he's talking about right now. And he's thrown Cox out of the game.
It was also Wilkie behind the plate. I believe it was game 3 that he had a lot of problems with, arguing balls and strikes. I think it was Wilkie that called that 3-2 breaking ball on Andrew Jones.
Boy, is Cox upset.
He is hot.
Rarely do you see Bobby Cox this mad, but he is really mad.
He is taking on the entire American League umpiring crew. Now it's Jim Evans' turn to listen.
Evans is the crew chief here. Jimmy Williams trying to keep Cox separated, but they've thrown him out of the game.
Watch the play again at second base. Watch Grissom's foot. He's there. The foot is already on the base when Jeter makes the tag.
He's got to leave the dugout.
He won't go too far. He'll just go down right about there, sit down, and still control the game.
Bud Selig, the acting commissioner, on hand here for this game. Well, this has revved it up. A big break for the Yankees on a bad call. 2 down. Lemke with a 1-0 count. Center field. Bernie Williams. No runs, a base hit, nobody left on. Can the Atlanta Braves keep their composure in a game they must win to continue the year?
Welcome back. 4.5 innings gone, still 3-1 Yankees, but now the umpiring becomes the story. And Rico, I mean, Terry Tatum misses the call. Tim Welke, who missed O'Neill's strikeout a couple innings back, throws Bobby Cox out. What's he throwing him out for? He's the third base umpire.
I don't know, but that's the worst call I've seen in years. That's a call at second base. I tell you, if the Yankees go on to win this, they better give the umpires a share of the pot, I'll tell you.
And Welke was the guy who was so bad behind home plate in game 3, as you see Maddox with the first pitch in to the Yankees leadoff batter, who's Luis Sojo, who came in to take the place of Mariano Duncan. But Tim Welke was so bad behind the plate. And then he was also the guy who got in Jermaine Dye's way on the foul ball. So it's a big series for him.
It's too bad the umpires have to be involved in these type of calls. I mean, they can make mistakes, certainly, but there was a few calls here that are obvious. It's really sad.
1-1's the count. Make that 1 ball and 2 strikes to Sojo. Let's get back to New York.
Oh, coming into the ball game after Mariano Duncan did something to his shoulder. This is the first at bat of the ball game for Sojo. Right field. Dye. 1 down. Bobby Cox has been upset ever since this play with the umpiring.
There he is right there. He said that was the turning point of this series. I disagree with that. But you see the umpire's back to him. He's got to look at all the players, get out of the way, give him a chance. See Wilkie? I mean, he's had a tough series. He was behind the plate in those bad calls and then down the line on that Dye play. And Bobby Cox said that that is the turning point. Jeter led off the inning. He should have been out. They wind up scoring 3 runs in that 6-0 comeback.
Joe Girardi takes the pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Girardi a big triple in the 3rd inning, picking up the RBI, his first of the World Series. 1 hit and 8 at-bats for him. And that one looped out left center, and Jones never saw it. Andrew Jones, the left fielder, never saw the ball. He was going backwards. He's the only one who would have had any chance, and Girardi's on with a single.
That's the third outfielder that has misplayed a ball today. Strawberry in the first inning, Bernie Williams in the second inning. Andrew Jones never saw the ball off the bat.
He was wandering out there.
I don't know if he would have been able to catch that ball, but he was completely lost on that play.
Jimmy Williams, in front of your picture. Maddox now has given up 5 hits in the game. Girardi has 2 of them. Jeter has another. Jeter an RBI single in the 3rd inning. 3-1 Yankee lead. And Maddox misses outside, ball 1.
What a difference from the game 2 in this series. Already 8 balls hit into the outfield off Greg Maddox. Game 2, only 1 fly ball. 19 ground ball outs for Maddox in game 2.
4-time Cy Young Award winner trying to come through here in game 6 for the Braves.
Girardi, even though he's a catcher, 13 steals on the year. They will try to force the issue against Maddox, try to keep pushing, keep adding runs to their lead.
Girardi led all major league catchers in stolen bases, something Rick Cerrone's very proud of, knowing how fast catchers are. Down to 3rd, Chipper Jones. There's one, relay in time, and a tough turn for Lemke.
Well, that is a tough turn for Lemke because he was late getting to the bag, but they make the double play.
No runs, a hit, nobody left on. 3-1 Yankees. Fred McGriff, 3-1 Yankees leading. We are in the 6th inning. McGriff has walked and grounded out. McGriff scored the only Atlanta run after drawing that walk in the 4th inning. Dye brought him in on a little later walk with the bases loaded. He has walked 3 in the game. One-on-one.
Pretty tight strike zone behind the plate by Jerry Davis. He has not given Key the close pitches. I know Key's been all over the place, and you don't expect to get the close ones called a strike.
And he usually is a pitcher's umpire. Chopper. Shift was on here. Soho will make the play. Over to 3rd base goes Jones. McGriff is retired. It's still early enough in this game for the Braves to do the fundamental things like this, to go for that 1 run.
Oh yeah, you want McGriff, your number 4 hitter, to drive in the run. But if in worst case scenario you advance the runner like McGriff did, and Jimmy Key will get a warm ovation, even though it was a struggle for him most of the night.
1 down. David Weathers on in relief of Key, gets the strike to Javi Lopez.
Weathers has faced Lopez before. Lopez 3 for 8 with 2 home runs against David Weathers, who came over from the Florida Marlins.
Chipper Jones is the runner at 3rd base. Lopez a single and a walk against Key. Fouls that one off down the right field line, and a 2-strike count. David Weathers here in the World Series, making his 3rd appearance. 2 2/3 innings, a run on 2 hits. He has walked 2 and struck out 2 in the World Series appearances. 1 down, 3-1 Yankee lead. Lopez chases.
Wow, slider out of the strike zone. Big strikeout for Weathers. Look at the slider. Starts off on the plate, way out of the strike zone. Very similar situation to the other night. Instead of Weathers on the mound, it was John Wetland with the runner at 3rd and 1 out. Lopez hit the ground ball to 3rd base.
Leadoff double by Chipper Jones, but now there are 2 down. He's still at 3rd. Andrew Jones jammed on that one, ball 1. Jones has driven in a run with a bases loaded walk and has flied out.
What a huge difference in David Weathers as a starter when he first came over to the Yankees and out of the bullpen. Much more consistent out of the bullpen. The hard sinker, the hard slider. Remember we talk about Maddox? One ball goes down and into a righty, another ball goes down and away from a right-hander. Not that Weathers has that type of control, but the same movement on his pitches.
Braves looking for that big hit here to make it a one-run game. 2 down. 1-1 pitch. Again jammed him right at the fist. 2-1.
Wow, I don't know how that ball didn't hit Andrew Jones. That sinker up and in. You talk about keeping a hitter honest inside. Look at this ball. It just chases him inside. How does he not catch a piece of that arm?
Well, he set him up for that breaking ball down and away again. 2-1 count. Did not swing at that one. 3-1.
You're thinking along with hitters and catchers now. I like that. Start fastball up and in, and then the slider away. Good call.
Hasn't changed much over the years in this game, has it?
No, it hasn't.
3-1 count here. Jones off third base. Ball 4. So Weathers walks. Andrew Jones, potential tying run in this game, goes down to first base now. 2 down, and Jermaine Dye will be coming up. Their 23rd World Series here tonight, and they have the 3-1 edge, each team with 5 hits. Fouled off by Boggs, who has flied out twice to right field.
Last inning, first and third, 2 outs. Did not go to the fastball, stayed with the slider, and got the pop-up from Klesko. A little interesting at the end. Look, he battled that pop-up.
Luis Sojo made the catch. Wade Boggs towards the middle. Lemke backhands it. And Boggs is retired here in the bottom of the 6th inning. 1 down.
Gary, I love the way Boggs described hitting off of Greg Maddux. The type of movement that he has on his pitches. Let's go back last inning. You see Watson's reaction. Look at that. Look, he turned around and said, I told you.
See, I told you so.
I told you.
Lloyd has been spectacular. The man he picked up from Milwaukee in the much discussed deal. Chips in the elbow. He is going to have something done to that. But he has come through for the Yankees here in this World Series and this postseason.
Now you talk about a guy that was added to the roster at the last minute. They weren't sure they were going to carry Lloyd, and it turned out good. He's not giving up a run in postseason. Getting back to Boggs and Maddox's movement, he says, you remember when you were a kid and you played wiffle ball in the backyard and you could make the wiffle ball do whatever you want, sail, sink? He said that's what Maddox is like. I thought that was a good description of Maddox.
Remember that. Tonight has been a little less of that from Greg Maddux, as the Yankees have been able to get to him for 5 hits. Triple, double, and singles. 4 of those coming in the 3rd. Mariano Rivera's getting ready to come on for Lloyd, who came in and did his part. Williams down the left field line. Klesko just in the game makes the play. 2 down. Yankees trying to do it. First time it's 81. Here's Cecil. 0 for 2. Maddox gets the strike. 2 down. Bottom half of the 6th inning. Far from over.
Maddox has just found his rhythm again. Everything off the plate, good movement. He's still here.
Braves have left 5 on in this game. Actually 6 left on, and 4 of them in scoring position in the game. No go around on the swing, says Jim Evans.
You know, the funny thing with Maddox, you look at his 11 losses this year. His ERA still only 2.72. But how does he lose 11 ball games? Well, in those 11 games, the Braves only scored 17 runs. That's how you lose ball games.
Kind of an all or nothing for him. They averaged over 4.5 runs a game overall for him. So when they got him runs, they got quite a few of them. But when they didn't, he had little to work with, and that's why he ended up 15 and 11. 1 ball, 1 strike on Cecil Fielder. 2 down, the base is empty. He rocks that one to Klesko. It'll fall in front of him for a base hit. Boy, Klesko may have had a chance on that ball, just kind of stopped on it.
He stopped pretty short. I don't know if he thought he couldn't make that play at all, and you see Glauser turning around looking at him. He just stops. The ball hits about 5 feet in front of him.
Well, he's got the better angle on that. That's tough to judge. There are also things being thrown at him from out of the seats. Martinez is 0 for 2 in the game. Hit number 6 for the Yankees. Runner at first, 2 down. Tino Martinez has flied out, been called out. They will not hold Fielder. McGriff plays behind him. In the dirt, blocked. Lopez kept it in front of him.
That's a nice job by Lopez, too. Good technique. He didn't try to catch the ball. Use that big chest protector to block the ball. Watch him again. See this? He covers up the hole with the catcher's mitt and then uses the chest protector to block the ball.
Maddox with a 1-0 delivery. Off-speed pitch is in there. Tied him up on that one. 1 ball and 1 strike on Martinez. Jam-packed Yankee Stadium. All 3 Yankee runs coming in that 3rd inning. 1-1 pitch is outside. 2 ball, 1 strike count. 1996 World Series. Beautiful shot. Yankee Stadium in the Bronx, New York. A Yankee win, and they are the world champions. A Braves win, and there would be a Game 7 tomorrow night. Gary Thorne, Rick Cerrone, Major League Baseball International's coverage continuing here. Second base, Lemke's got it. And that'll retire the side. No runs, a base hit, and 1 left on. 6 complete in Game 6. With the Yankees leading it 3-1, and Rivera coming on. This one to center field by Chipper Jones. First pitch from Rivera, 1 down.
You know, Gary, sometimes the setup guys have to get the tough outs, the real tough outs. The middle of the order is coming up. Gets Chipper Jones, the 3-hitter. Now you have McGriff, Lopez, and Andrew Jones coming up.
Rivera coming on in relief. Last inning, Fred McGriff, fastball's there. Greg Maddux has walked 1, struck out 2, given up 3 runs on 7 hits. Jimmy Key, the pitcher of record for the Yankees, 5 1/3, a run on 5 hits. Weathers, 1/3 of an inning, a strikeout and a walk. Lloyd came on, got Klesko, the only batter he faced. Broken bat, ground ball. Jeter's over behind the bag. 2 down.
They've actually made that move. Jeter playing a little bit up the middle for McGriff. That's the 2nd time tonight he's hit a ball back up the middle that Jeter's been there for.
Those smiles tell you they are sensing it. It's getting closer, but it's not over.
This is one where a pitcher, get out of the way, don't try to deflect it. Jeter's playing him perfect.
Big inning for Rivera. He's got the number 3 hitter, the number 4 hitter retired. Strike 1 on Lopez.
Now you see the difference in Rivera. A lot more fluid, good pop on his fastball.
One ball, 1 strike. He didn't get a ring in '86. He wants one now. 1-2. Lopez retired. The middle of the order gone. Wetland getting ready. Yankees lead at 3-1.
Mariano Rivera throwing some cheese there, and Javier Lopez was not getting a piece of it.
Threw it right by him. I mean, that's a real fastball. The ball was just hopping. And I can tell you, I faced guys like that in my career, and you just don't have time to make up your mind. You've got to see the ball out there just out of his hands and make up your mind to swing. It's tough.
So now Atlanta will be down to one last chance, and it'll be John Wetland who comes in to pitch.
John Wetland in the past has gotten in trouble. I mean, he is a guy that can walk a player here and there, a bloop hit, and then he's been known to give up a home run here and there. So all you Atlanta fans, don't give up right now. However, lately he's been really throwing the ball hard and getting it over, so he will be tough.
I've been waiting for 6 games to do my Don Zimmer imitation, more or less like that. And Zim, we figured out that Zim has not won a World Series in exactly 40 years because he was with the '56 Dodgers.
Yeah, he's one of those baseball men who have been around a long time, have maybe gotten in one World Series as a player, but as a coach or manager, which is a big dream, of course, of all of them, all those who have managed or coached, to win a World Championship, and he may get his wish finally. Finally. I think he's 105 years old or something
At
like
least.
that. He's that old.
Now, the big thing for the Braves right here is to not let the Yankees extend the lead any further in the bottom of the 8th.
That's exactly right. If the Yankees get one more run, it's really going to deflate the Atlanta team, and it's going to be tough for them to come back. However, if they keep them where they're at, they get a man on base, then they have the tying run up at the plate, and anything can happen.
Rally cap is on by their owner, Ted Turner. Jeter. Greg Maddux pitching here. He's gone the distance. Gets the strike on Jeter. Foul that one off.
Maddux is still here in this ball game. He's done exactly what they wanted him to do. Let's go back to the 3rd inning. 2-0 slider from Maddux. Infield in, base hit, RBI. Jeter. Just to put that ball into play, you can't be looking for it.
0-2 count on Jeter. John Sherholtz, GM, Atlanta Braves. There have only been 6 rookies who won a Rookie of the Year award and also won the World Series that year. Jeter's got a shot at being the 7th. Not ironically, Gil McDougall of the Yankees in '51, Tommy Tresh of the Yankees in '62, Jim Lefevre, the Dodgers '65, Pat Zachary of the Reds '76, Valenzuela, Fernando '81 with the Dodgers, and Chuck Knobloch, the '91 Twins. Jeter most certainly will win the Rookie of the Year award, to be announced later, and is 3 outs away from having a ring to go with it.
What do you do for an encore?
Again. 3-2 count. And Maddux gets his 3rd strikeout of the game. 1 away in the bottom of the 8th inning. Charlie Hayes will get his first at bat, coming on as a defensive replacement for Wade Boggs. Maddux slipping, will stop, start over. One down. You want to cheat a little bit, and why wouldn't you? Andrew Jones, Ryan Klesko, Terry Pendleton due up for the Braves in the 9th inning.
And probably Polonia for Blauser.
Maddux missed outside with that. 2 balls and no strikes.
That's why you always say a game of inches. Pettit, the bunt, still a crucial play in Game 5. By a half a step. Later, it's the 3-run home run off of the closer Wohlers. There's John Wetland, the Yankee closer. The ball that Polonia hit in Game 5. O'Neill, a half-inch from being a game-winning double by Polonia. It's an out.
Maddox somehow knocked that down. Hayes is retired. Screamer back up the middle. Maddox olayed it, 2 away.
A lot of wonderful stories in this series. Joe Torre, his brother, waiting for a heart for 4 months. Gets it yesterday.
And is watching the game in the hospital tonight.
Makes you realize the World Series is important, but there's a lot more important things in life.
Williams takes the strike on the outside corner. Williams a single and an RBI in this game. Winner of the MVP of the American League Championship Series. A magnificent overall season.
Came into his own. Everybody around the country realizes what type of player he is and has become, especially in crunch time in October. This series only 3 hits, but look back to Game 3, the game they had to have in Atlanta, the big 2-run homer by Williams in the 8th inning off of Greg McMichael.
Remember, no team has won a home game in this series. The Yankees trying to do it here and wrap it up. I'll tell you what's going to be a tough vote if the Yankees win this tonight is the MVP of the World Series.
Well, to me, MVP of this World Series, if John Wetland comes in and closes it out, he becomes the first player in the history of the World Series to save all 4 ball games. When you can do that, you're the MVP of this team.
Cecil's had the big offensive numbers here in the World Series, leading them in that department.
It is a team effort.
Yeah, there's been a team effort all around here all year for them. 1-2 pitch to Williams, misses inside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 down, 8th inning.
The job that Torre did, he has got them to put their egos aside and play to win.
And acted as the big buffer between George Steinbrenner and the rest of the team. No small job. 2-2 delivery. Williams a chopper to second base. Base hit out of the reach of Lemke. Williams 2 for 4. Jim Beecham, the acting manager, on his way out.
Little sinker in the middle of the plate. Bernie hits it hard. Lemke the good effort, but a base hit. Maddox's reaction.
And Greg Maddox's season is over, and what a great season it was. He could lose this ball game, but he took them through 7 2/3 innings. Waller's on the mound here. Williams on at first. Cecil Fielder 1 for 3. An important potential run at first base.
This is power against power. Wohlers throws right around 100 miles an hour, and you know Cecil's trying to air it out.
8th inning, Yankees leading it 3-1. Runner goes, swung on a miss, no play for Lopez. Stolen base for Bernie Williams.
Great jump by Bernie Williams. That's a 4-step jump. He even has times to take a peek back at the hitter. No throw by Lopez.
Surpriser. That's a big base to give up right there. That's a huge potential run here with only a 2-run differential. 0-2 count on Cecil Fielder. Fouled it off. Remains 0-2.
You see, Cecil has not hit a home run in this World Series, but he's gotten the big RBIs by driving the ball the opposite way. He is not just a brute hitter. He tries the most important thing for Cecil is get that RBI home.
There he is, Bernie Williams at second base. See them talking to Bobby Cox down on the runway. Leo Mazzoni, the pitching coach. Greg Maddux went down there to join him. Maddux 7 2/3 innings, 8 hits. He walked 1 and struck out 3. Gave up the 3 runs on 8 hits, responsible for Williams at second base. Wohlers with a 2-strike count, the fielder. Towards short. Blauser. Here we go. John Wetland will try and remain perfect in saves. 3 more outs, and the New York Yankees are the world champions.
You don't need a weatherman to know which way the wind blows. You don't need a Wetland to know which way the Yankees blow. And there he is coming in, and you know what he's going to be doing.
He's the man for the Yankees. He's the top reliever in the game today. 42 of 44 saves. What he's going to do, he's going to try to throw that fastball by the Brave hitters. But you know he's got a great curveball. If there's nobody on, he may try to throw it because he does have a 2-run lead. If it was a 1-run lead, I'd really be concerned because he can give up the home run. But he's got 2 runs. He's going to be especially tough with a 2-run lead.
Andrew Jones, the 19-year-old from Curacao. Ryan Klesko, home run hitter, but with a big swing, strikes out a lot. And then Terry Pendleton, who you've said a couple of times, it's painfully obvious he can't get around on the real fastball.
Right, and that's why Wetland has to go with his fastball. And it's his best pitch. Why fool around with some other pitch? Well, you should go with your good pitch. He'll know right away if the pitch is really going good. In other words, if it's up there in the middle 90s, he'll know right away because he'll be throwing it right by the hitters. So he'll stay with that pitch. But it's very exciting. The Yankees are home. The fans are all, I mean, they're going wild right now, and they're just hoping that they can get the 3 outs for the World Championship.
There'll be a roar with every pitch as it
They
comes.
certainly will. This is an exciting moment.
How about Tim Welke for the MVP of the World Series?
He might get the MVP. I tell you, he's going to get a share. He's going to get a share of the
Yankee players will vote in the share.
The umpires have been very kind to the Yankees, and it went back to the championship series when that youngster went over the fence and interfered with the ball and enabled the Yankees to win that game and go on and win the championship and then come into the...
And the umpire there missed the call. He called it completely wrong.
What's going on here? They're missing the calls as if they can't see it. They got their eyes closed. What's going on here? We better go back to umpire school.
And that's down there in Florida, which is not too bad a place to be. But, I mean, one of the things is TV obviously makes you more aware of this. But with all the controversy that comes out, it seems that as the controversy intensifies with umpires, the performance on the field gets worse. Almost as if, well, if you're going to get on our backs, we're just, we're not going to worry about it.
Well, that's right. You have to. Something like that happens, and it's not easy. But if an umpire makes a bad call on you, you have to forget about it and go out there and concentrate and play the game hard, sometimes even harder. In this case with Atlanta, with the manager getting thrown out of the game, it could inspire a team. And for a minute there, it looked as though they were pumped up a little bit, but the Yankees have been very tough. And Cerrone has said it, Gary Thorne, they're beating the Braves at their own game. Excellent pitching.
Yep, and not to make it seem like we're trying to throw the blame on the shoulders of the umpires. The Yankees are here because they've outplayed the Braves in the last 4 games, and there's no question about that. Now, let's get back to Yankee Stadium for the last 3 outs of the game.
He has been virtually perfect. 6 saves in the postseason. Fastball taken for a strike. Jones, Klesko, and Pendleton do up. Here in the World Series, Wetland has appeared in 4 games, 1 hit and 3 1/3 innings. Walking 1 and striking out 4. Mark Wohlers, who had the disastrous inning, of course, in Atlanta in that big 6-0 comeback win by the Yankees, will watch. 2-1, foul back, 2-2. Graham Lloyd worked a 1/3 of an inning, got the out he needed. Never expected to be here. Yankee fans are on their feet. Obviously, the big thing here is not to get that potential tying run to the plate if you're the Yankees. For Andrew Jones, the 19-year-old, he wants a walk-off Wetland. Three-two pitch. Struck him out. He chased ball 4. Ryan Klesko. You may be looking at the MVP of the World Series. Ground ball, base hit off Jeter's glove. And Klesko is on with one away in the top of the 9th inning. That will bring the potential tying run to the plate. Jeter, not over towards the bag, made a dive for it, actually almost went too far. He overdove on that, and the ball went off the heel, too far away from him for him to make a play. Base hit. Terry Pendleton coming up. Braves have their 6th hit of the game. Pendleton. Strike 1. For Wetland, only the 2nd hit he's given up here in the World Series. Overall, 6 hits now in 11 2/3 innings he's worked in postseason. It's the way it ought to end. Timeout taken, a beach ball on the field. Starbury going over. Wade Boggs was in that series in '86 when the Mets came back from that deficit and won. One strike count. Check swing fouled off. 0-2 on Pendleton. Two-strike count. Pendleton jam did not go around. Wetland came in on the hands that time, and Pendleton thought about it but did not offer. 1-2 count. Wade Boggs watching every pitch. Can you say nervous? 1-2 delivery. That ball drilled to right field. O'Neill over, will not have a play. Base hit. Making the turn, heading over to third base. And in. Klesko, runners at first and third. The world champions are not done yet. One down. Runners at the corners. Pendleton got around on this one. O'Neill had to play it on a hop. A good jump by Klesko. And there are 2 on with 1 away. Blauser due up. We will get the pinch hitter, Luis Polonia, the man who almost won the ball game in Atlanta on Thursday. And nobody knows better than Wade Boggs about how it ain't over till it's over. He remembers the ground ball through Buckner's legs when it looked like it was theirs. Polonia takes a strike. 1 down. Klesko on at third base. Pendleton on at first is not a fast runner. The infield will play for 2. 0-1 the count. Fastball away, a ball and a strike. And now the tension has really set in. This inning started after that strikeout with exhilaration by the Yankee fans, just waiting to celebrate. Now 1-1. 1-2. Greg Cardinal, first base coach, knows Polonia well through the minors and majors. 1-2 the count. You certainly have to credit Polonia. He has battled in his last 2 at-bats. Doc Gooden, who was on that '86 Mets team that won. Polonia coming off the bench here in these 2 situations, just battling away. Pinch hitters have had an offer for the Atlanta Braves in the series. Strike him out. 2 down. Two down, 2 on. Yankees lead 3-1, 9th inning. Terry Pendleton will come out of the game for a pinch runner, as that represents the tying run. Rafael Belliard will come on to run for Pendleton. Joe Torre and the Yankees are 1 out away from the championship. Looking for their 23rd Yankee franchise world championship. A ground ball, base hit into right field. Grissom comes through. A run scores. Stopping at second base is Belliard. Klesko in, and it's a 1-run game. 3 hits this inning off John Wetland. Marquise Grissom willing to take what he got. Out over the plate, drove the fastball into right field. Klesko has scored. A potential tying run, Belliard at second base, and with 2 down, the ball's hit. Rafael Belliard will be going. Mark Lemke is 0 for 4. One elusive out. One ball, 1 strike on Lemke. Rafael Belliard, potential tying run. Grissom will go ahead at first. Wetland will back off. One ball, 1 strike, 2 down. 2-1 to Lemke. Chipper Jones on deck. Mariano Rivera did his job, 2 innings, walked 1 and struck out 1. Bobby Cox was thrown out of this ball game in the 5th inning, disputing a call. He's down on the runway, out of sight. Mark Lemke, a 2-1 count. Lemke 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes. Wetland to Lemke. Want to be a home plate umpire on that call? 3 balls and 2 strikes. Two down, runners go. Lemke pops it up outside of third. Charlie Hayes for the championship. In the dugout, no catch. No. Not over. Don't you just love it? The championship was this close. Charlie Hayes reaching, falling, no help from the Atlanta dugout. Three-two for the second time. Runners go. Again, outside of third. Charlie Hayes has room. Yankees are the '96 World Champions.
So, Halloween a couple of days early in New York. Rico, the New York Yankees are the world champions. They win the World Series 4-2 over the Atlanta Braves, winning all 3 in Atlanta, coming back from a 2-0 deficit to win 4 in a row. An amazing performance by the team.
Really a great performance against an outstanding team like Atlanta. The Yankees, they had to win on the road. They were 2 games behind. They did win the 3 on the road, came with clutch performances, and now got the win at home in front of their fans. The fans are celebrating. Everyone happy. Everyone loves each other. Even the owner, George Steinbrenner, probably loves everyone in the organization right now.
Bob Watson loves Graham Lloyd. That's because he saved his job.
Yes. A lot of controversy this year with the Yankees, as always, but they came through. You see Joe Torre there in the middle, much beloved manager. Of course, he went through a lot of tribulation this year with his brother being in the hospital, getting a heart transplant. Everyone's happy for him. A lot of players on the Yankees are veteran players who have not been in a World Series or have come back from adversity and come on to win a World Championship. Darryl Strawberry right there had a drug problem, overcame the drug problem. Don Zimmer, a longtime professional. And Don gets himself a World Championship. My old manager there. I can't tease him any longer. Yeah.
Well, to me, one of the most impressive things was I sort of downgraded Joe Torre's performance with the Yankees because they had a solid team, and because he's a player's manager, I thought he'd do well with them the first year, but he managed brilliantly throughout the series.
Throughout the series and throughout the year, he really did a nice job with them. He's a laid-back guy. He's not very rambunctious. He's calm, and I think it's rubbed off on his team. His team is very professional.
They went about their business. There was some controversy, as I mentioned, that they didn't let it affect them. They also, during the year, Baltimore made a run at them. I think there were as little as 2 games down in the race. And the Yankees came and beat them 4 in a row at Yankee Stadium and got the big lead and went on to win it.
So John Wetteland made it interesting for us in the 9th inning of this game. Do you give him the series MVP, or do you look at someone else, Bernie Williams maybe?
No, Bernie really didn't have that consistent World Series. He got some big hits. Cecil Fielder had hit for a high average, got a lot of hits, but I think probably Wetteland will be the series' most valuable player. He gets all 4 saves, or all 4 wins
in all 4 games,
and did a great job. Although he made it a little too interesting for the Yankees in this game.
Right. Now let's take a look at once again at how the Yankees got all the way through to the World Championship. The first 2 games in New York, it looked like the Braves were going to run away with it. 12-1 in the first, 4-0 behind Greg Maddux in the second. The series moved back to Atlanta. The Yankees won Game 3 5-2, and then came from a 6-0 deficit to win Game 4 8-6. That was the turning point of the series. They then won Game 5 on Thursday night, a great pitchers duel, 1-0 New York over Atlanta. John Smoltz, the loser there. Andy Pettitte, the winner, and as you've just seen, the Yankees win 3-2, another one-run ball game, and they win the World Series 4-2.
Yeah, 6 games. I thought this series might go either 5 games, 4, 5, or 7 games. I didn't think it would go 6 games. I didn't think the Yankees would win all 3 on the road. I thought they might win 1 or 2 at the most and bring it back to New York, but you got to give them a lot of credit. As I mentioned earlier, they beat a very good Atlanta ball club.
So for Rico Petrocelli and Dean Pooley and our whole late-night crew here at Sky Sports, I'm Mike Carlson. Thanks for watching the World Series.